I went out of the company to seek validation of my skills. I went outside of my own company to seek self-worth, to see if what I'm saying is helpful, is just seeking validation outside of my own team, my home-based team, outside of my own leadership team, outside of my company, to seek self-worth, to seek confidence.
In this video, I'm sharing a snippet of a video journal that I filmed the day I left a company where I dealt with a toxic leader. So then you can see the real unfiltered aftermath, what it does to a person, and how you rise above it. I worked for a leader who gaslit me, undermined me, said one thing in the room and then a completely opposite action in another room. And when I asked for support, they threw me into a room all alone, without the backing. For a while, I believed what their actions was telling me is that, hey, your decade of experience wasn't good enough, that I wasn't up to the scratch, and yet I got no constructive feedback. If you've ever worked for someone like that, you know the damage isn't just professional. It follows you home. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Teresa. I'm a leadership coach based in Melbourne, Australia. And this channel is all about helping you do great work and make sure that you get seen. Because look, effort alone isn't just enough. You need clarity, influence, and confidence. And if that sounds useful, make sure to subscribe to this channel. Here's the thing. Even though it was the most toxic leader I've ever had to work with my whole entire career, I still managed to learn these 3 lessons. And the first lesson is to learn to speak in numbers. Now, this is all about commercial acumen, because this leader was all about numbers and that was his jam. The higher you climb, the less it matters that you drove an outcome. What actually matters is whether you can translate that outcome into a business value. Is it revenue growth? And how much of it is it? Is it cost reduction? Is it a different kind of value that the business actually cares about? And now, while working for this leader, vague wins just did not survive the room. You can't say things like, hey, I improved this process. It meant nothing. And what mattered was the number behind it and the story that that number told. Now, that pressure was constantly coming at me, sometimes brutally, forced me to reframe every piece of my work I did in the commercial terms. Not because I wanted to, because I had to survive my day-to-day. Here's what I didn't expect. The skill just didn't disappear when I left. It's still growing today and I love it. No matter which domain I work in. And product and senior leadership, it doesn't matter. Commercial acumen is a thing driving the story. It's what turns I did this into this is why it mattered. Now the lesson here is don't wait for a toxic environment to force this onto you. Practice translating your work into numbers now. Revenue, cost, acquisition, percentages is the single biggest lever for how seriously you've taken as you grow. Lesson number 2 is build the evidence, not the outcome. This second lesson took a way longer to see clearly for me, and it's about what happens when you've been asked to defend a direction that you know it's wrong. My boss had this amazing idea. The company had already tested it for 48 months, and the proof point was stacked against it. But every time it failed, the answer was the same from them. It wasn't executed properly, that's why it didn't work. Never was, hey, the idea could be wrong. So I kept trying anyway. Not really to please them, but to find a way through. I wrote briefs overnight. I went deeper into numbers. I pulled together proof points and past experiment showing the direction wasn't working. And we ran roughly another 8 experiments on top of that of the same idea. Same result every time, same excuse every time. So I adapted. New format, new angle, new ways of making the same case. Did it work? Absolutely not. It never landed, but that wasn't actually the point. So here's a reframe. When you don't own the call, your job isn't to win the argument. It is to keep building the evidence and clearly and honestly, and let the accountability sit where it actually belongs, with the person who owns that patch, not with you. And this is with my boss. There's also this political layout in this too. I learned to read the room a lot better, understand who the argument was really for, and stop making mistaking myself that I couldn't change people's mind or that I have failed as well. And here's a lesson for this. Influence isn't about being right. It's about building a case so clean that the outcome, whatever it is no longer your responsibility to carry. Lesson number 3, the final lesson, build your confidence outside the organization. Now, this is the one that have changed me most. I used to source my confidence from work. Experience made me more comfortable, and my leader's approval told me whether I was on track or not. Now, that's all normal. It's a human thing to do, and until the person grading you decides nothing you do is ever enough. Now, with this leader, everything I did fell short. And at one point, it just turned into this open competition, almost like battle royale. Literally being told to write the same report as my peer so that they could compare who was better. Now, I didn't write it, not because it was out of protest. I just didn't believe peeing people against each other was a good use of anyone's time, and that's not how I chose to operate. So what did I do?
So I'm in this whole entire period where it's just, everything's just, in my head, I'm like, everything's, it's unfair. How the out of this? What do I need to do to build my self-worth? What do I need to do to make myself feel confident that I can do this? I could do this. This is a role that I really have enjoyed, a large portfolio, coaching people. I really enjoy the people aspect of it and sharing my knowledge. And I always wanted to do a YouTube channel, and I was video editing, and I used to coach people out there, and I thought, you know what, it's time to start just building my YouTube channel, building content, sharing whatever knowledge I have, because someone out there might have a shit leader or in the same situation as me where they just cannot coach them, right? And they don't get the coaching, they just get told what needs to be done and hurry up and get it done. So I guess in a way I started my channel because to prove to myself that I can do this. I know my stuff. And I went out of the company to seek validation of my skills. I went outside of my own company to seek self-worth, to see if what I'm saying is helpful, is just seeking validation outside of my own team, my home-based team, outside of my own leadership team, outside of my company, to seek self-worth, to seek confidence. And that's just crazy to me that I have to do that to make myself feel accepted, to make myself feel I know what I'm doing, And sure, there's people in the business that, I have built great friendship with. They are backing me all the time. But my home base, where you should feel safe, in an environment that is safe, I don't feel safe.
I found confidence somewhere else. I rebuilt my network. I reconnected with people and past leaders who I respected a lot, and they respected me back to give me real feedback. And honestly, this channel is also part of the story. Hearing from people who took a piece of my advice and used it in their own job, that rebuilt something that this leader had been spent months trying to take apart. And my lesson here is that if your confidence only lives inside one building, one leader controls it, build a version of that existing independently through your network, through your past wins, your own standard. Nobody should hold that much power over you of how you see yourself. So here's the 3 lessons from a very toxic chapter in my life. Learn to speak in numbers, build evidence instead of chasing outcomes that you just don't own, and root your confidence outside of anyone's leader's opinion of you. And I'll be honest, do I still feel a bit of PTSD sometimes? Of course. But what I actually walked away was a lot of strong grit. The kind that you only build by going through it, not around it. And look, if you are in somewhat a similar situation right now, if you've genuinely tried everything and it's still taking a toll on your health and your stress, it's okay to exit. Because nobody wins a medal for staying. The company won't even remember. The leader will move on, and you're the one who has to be sticking with and living with your own body afterwards. So here's a question I want to leave with you. What is that one skill your hardest leader ever forced you to build? And are you still using it on purpose, or did you leave that behind with them? If you find this video insightful, please hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. And if you have tips around how you combat a toxic leader, what did you actually learn? Please drop in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.